Welcome back to Field Hockey with Hatfield here at the Plex as we have a special guest with us now here on the program. He is part of the folks involved with the NoVA High School Senior Salute. We talked about last week the big all-star game happening at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex and the Regional Training Center with field hockey players and athletes from across the 757 area code, and they're doing one up in Northern Virginia for the second straight year. It's going to be coming up on Sunday, November the 19th. That's this Sunday, 3 o'clock until 8 p.m. at the St. James in Springfield. If you haven't been there, it is a wonderful facility, and Brendan Sullivan's so kind to join us. Brendan, how you been?
Good, Matt. How are you? Thanks for doing this.
I'm doing well, and good to have you on here. And we'll talk about the field hockey championships that just wrapped up as well with you. But give the folks a little bit of a background about this, because there's so much rich field hockey talent across the entire state, whether it is in Tidewater or NoVA or other parts of the Commonwealth. And this is a cool way to recognize the young ladies for their hard work and dedication throughout the year and even in the off-season time.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. One of the things we saw is that they have a lot of basketball, football, all the big sports where, they had these opportunities for senior salutes or all-star games. And so, being a hockey parent, my wife and I always asked, why isn't field hockey? Why isn't there any opportunity for the girls to get out and play in these kind of events? And so we started talking with our coach, Christina Carroll. She's a longtime coach at, George C. Marshall High School. And she gave, some insight that they've done some things in the past, but they didn't really have anything right now. And we said, well, there's an opportunity to do something. Can we figure something out? And, it became kind of a, let's go ahead and do this. Let's put this together. So, we're in our second year. First year, we got about 50 kids out there. This year, we got a little bit more. We got 56 kids showing up. So a good event for bringing the girls out, an opportunity to recognize them, to also bring them together, promote girls athletics. So it's been really great.
That's awesome. If I understand correctly, you've had at least 30 high school coaches across the area that have been asked to nominate their senior players that are strong contributors to the team. So you're getting a lot of participation from not just the athletes who are in this game participating, but the coaches' involvement, their feedback, their input. So that makes it a bigger deal to have that kind of expertise behind it as well, right?
Absolutely, Matt, spot on. Our Christina Carroll is the president of the Northern Virginia Field Hockey Coaches Association. So that really helped. So she was able to connect in with the coaches. We took the opportunity to reach out to them. You're right, it's 30. We really focused on the first year, the Northern region and the Occoquan region, which make up the most of the Fairfax County, the Arlington area up here. And then we also added Meridian. So they're a strong program coming out of Falls Church. And it became a situation where, those coaches are key. They are really great about helping us identify the players. And we really are about, it's not an all-star game. It's really about those seniors, those great contributors through the program. One of the things we had last year, we had two players that got an opportunity to play in the game that got injured during the regular season. So it was great to have them, finish their careers, their hockey careers, playing in one of the last game, not one last senior salute. So, the coaches are key. They nominate the players. We get the opportunity to select those. And it's been a great, collaboration with those coaches to help us.
And if you want to find out more, you can obviously go to www.thestjames.com to see about the St. James location. But also, you're on, is it Instagram or Twitter at NoVA FHSR Salute? Is that on Twitter or X, I guess you call it now?
Yeah, it's Twitter, X. Yes, indeed, we're up there, and it's a great opportunity to, when we get to selections, to recognize the coach, recognize the players that are joining us. We've been able to recognize the coaches. And we have a great commitment from local referees as well. They've been very helpful in donating their time and contributing. A lot of them are from the area, grew up in the area, and want to give back. They're giving back by being referees, but also coming out to our event and helping us out. So, a lot of kudos to the referees for volunteering their time and helping us with this event. And you brought up the St. James, Matt. You're spot on. What a great facility. It's something. This time of year, the weather's always questionable. We're always concerned about, if we were going to have this event and it turns out to be 34 degrees and pouring rain, that's just not what we're looking for. So we did get a chance to talk to the St. James, sat down with them, talked about our concept, what we're trying to do, and got a great team over there, and Jacqueline Baker and Doug Homer, who are, great to work with. We're all over this, saying this is a great opportunity to, recognize field hockey. They're looking to do some more programming with field hockey. Again, collaboration with some great folks there to bring it inside while it is still field hockey. It's a full field house that they have there, that they've been able to do football games there. They have lacrosse, they have college lacrosse. And so we're bringing field hockey to them. So that's really great to have their facility, and a great opportunity for all the girls, as we mentioned, 50 kids to be involved in this event and get to experience that facility. So it's a really great location and a great facility.
You mentioned about those two young ladies that didn't get a chance to play a year ago because of injury, then they get in the All-Star game. I think it's always about memories and moments for these kids, their parents, their families, the coaches, the teams, everybody involved, the fans. And there's moments that people celebrate. We'll talk about the state championships that just wrapped up here in a moment, and players that get all met or all tied or all state recognition, all region accolades. But you all are making it unique too, because you've added some elements to this here at the St. James this year. I see you have players who have their own locker room with their names up on the lockers and in the game programs. You've got obviously social media promoting this event. Participating players are going to be photographed. Photos will be made online for the players and families. And there's also a youth clinic coming up. So tell us more about just the things as this grows and will hopefully become something people look forward to every year. They put it on their calendar.
Yeah, and we did last year. We started out just with a local high school, Meridian High School in Falls Church, and then the opportunity to go to St. James just seemed to be a way to step this up, and it really has been. And they've been very supportive. They want to recognize the girls that are coming out and participating. You mentioned the lockers. You have to get their names on our lockers. We've had some great sponsorships. Longstreth Field Hockey Sports Equipment in Pennsylvania is a long time supporter of field hockey, and we've connected in with them, and they've been great sponsors and supporters of us through the 2 years now. So they have a nice little gift bag for them, opportunity to thank the kids for their efforts through the years. And yeah, it is a full event. So we're taking the opportunity to have a clinic. One of the things we want to stress with the kids is, we want to recognize you for your efforts, but we also want to give back and help grow the game. And one of the things we're collaborating with the St. James is putting on a clinic before the game. You mentioned the coaches and their participation on nominating. They're also going to be participating. So we have a handful of coaches that are going to help us run the clinic. We've got some former high school hockey players coming back to join in on that to help grow the game. So we want to expose them to this. It's a neat event to be inside and recognizing the seniors, but also bringing in some of the younger folks to see this, to enjoy this, and to experience field hockey. My wife and I were field hockey parents for the last 10 years with our daughters. They're off in college now, but this just became kind of a way to continue this and continue to help grow the game.
That's really cool, and we commend you both for your efforts on that. Now, but just pick up your daughters. Where did they play, and where are they at now? Or where did they go to, I should say?
We got a lucky situation where both my daughters got to play at George C. Marshall High School. It's right here in Falls Church, Virginia, and played for Christina Carroll. I mentioned Christina; she's my partner in this. She's been 25 plus years at Marshall. Started as an assistant coach, became the head coach. Over 200 wins in that time. Christina's just great to work with. And both my daughters got to play with her teams through the year at Marshall. Now they're both in college. They're not playing, but they're enjoying their time in college. One off at UVA and one off at Penn State. Having a tough go with their football seasons, but nonetheless, they're enjoying their time in college.
That's all right. I mean, Penn State was doing well until Michigan picked them off there. They had the other blemish against Ohio State. And Virginia's shown some competitiveness on the gridiron. But also, it's pretty cool. I understand your niece was on the state championship team that won it for Yorktown this year in Class 6. Is that right?
Yeah, and just going back, actually, I have two nieces over at Yorktown, and they've become a powerhouse up here. And all the credit to Coach Olivia Shipley and what she's doing there. So in 3 years, they've won 2 state championships and a state runner-up last year. So yes, I do. Have Addie and Katie who have got a chance to play for Yorktown and experience some amazing times for sure. And that most recently on Saturday they have an opportunity to win a great game. And let me just give a shout out to Katie Stribling and the Woodson team. I know Katie and her team. She does a lot. Some really impressive showing. I'll share that I do know that she had 13 seniors last year and had a great season. And then to take that and turn that around and have a great run this year in an incredibly competitive district where they have Fairfax, who's always a perennial power, and of course the defending state champion of last year. She had a great team that made a great run, knocked off 2 number 1 seeds to get to the final. And what an exciting game that went to double overtime. And Yorktown got the victory. So yeah, we experienced that with family, and it was great time to see that for Yorktown.
We've got some of the scores rolling across the ticker. Congrats to Yorktown, Independence, Loudoun Valley, and Tab on state championships, as well as the private school teams that were able to prevail with Norfolk Academy, a nationally ranked outfit, has been as high as #1 in the country by multiple outlets, as well as in Division II with Fredericksburg Academy squeaking by Walsingham in a good game. All these games were great. As you know, the state playoffs, you get to the semifinals and championships, is very competitive, fierce. It can go almost either way. And although we've been 757 centric based down here at the Regional Training Center, which is another outstanding facility, much like the St. James, the kids love playing on those turf surfaces. You know it, indoor, outdoor. They love the turf. But it's fascinating to me, Brendan, because both Woodson and Yorktown were regional runner-ups, which I think speaks to the breadth and depth and quality of the field hockey up there. When you have Fairfax and Oakton, who have won region championships. I spoke last week with Beanie Schleicher. We thought maybe Oakton could win that bracket. And even though Tidewater teams came up short in the case of First Colonial, very close. Gloucester coming up very close. You know, Loudoun Valley had a great year. Independence had a great year. So this was a really better year for Nova on the field hockey scene.
Yeah, really. If you kind of go looking back, we recognize that there was some reclassification of teams. The powerhouses that we know about clearly of First Colonial and Cox down that way did jump down to the Class 5. I think it opened up opportunities for Northern Virginia, but at the same time, the development of those programs up this way in Northern Virginia has really come on. And a lot has to do with the club. You know, they really are playing a lot more in the club environment. Girls are playing, year round or near year round. They do the indoor, they do the outdoor. And you're right. It started out, I think, here in Class 6, a nice little run for Northern Virginia with Langley winning a state championship. And, that's a team right out of the same district as Yorktown, followed in by Madison winning the year after that. Then Yorktown, and Yorktown's been on a nice run. Fairfax got their first championship, and then, back to Yorktown. In the Class 6, and then that world. And it's just really been impressive. You've seen the development of the kids, the improvement on the field, the skills development. And I think there is a good connection into that to the club field hockey that's been really growing here in Northern Virginia. And, a lot of those club teams get to go down and experience the Virginia Beach environment, get to be on the turf down there and experience that as well. There's not as much of that down up here. It's coming, but the AstroTurf is only on the colleges over this way. But yeah, it really has grown, and you've seen some just explosion in the athleticism, the skills, and some great teams for sure.
Awesome. We got one more for them. We'll finish up on the All-Star game, how they can get tickets and go check out the game and get involved with maybe even contributing and helping out with this from a community standpoint. If any fans and parents and folks out there want to help in terms of it growing more and more. But I'm curious, Brendan, as an avid follower of field hockey and fan, a parent of players that have played it, uncle, I guess you could say now, I get this a lot in basketball every year when the state tournament concludes in March. People say we need a tournament of champions. Let these state champions play each other. I know, it's not necessarily sanctioned by the VHSL or VISAA. Sort of what you have with the All-Star Classic is like that for Nova. We do that with our Virginia Preps basketball class leagues. We try to give them sort of a mid-season All-Star type of setting with some of the better teams. You might see a little playoff preview or primer, if you will. Do you get that from some folks that are, man, we'd love to see Tab play Loudoun Valley, or like to see how Yorktown would do against Independence? They could obviously schedule each other during the season if they'd like, but do you hear that from people? And is that something that you will continue to think to have chatter behind it?
Yeah, and it's kind of unique up this way in Northern Virginia. Is not only do you have across the state, and clearly the field hockey powers had always resided down in the Virginia Beach area. By no means a field hockey expert, but I've been around it a little bit with my daughters over the past 10 years to see that. The unique piece is that we also have, Washington, D.C., we have Maryland up this way. So lots of times there's an interest in seeing across DMV. Is there an opportunity with some of the private schools and the Maryland schools? Maryland is really strong in field hockey and lacrosse. Is there opportunities to have some games with the kids to face each other? So we're starting small with our event. We're going to be about the seniors and their opportunity for them to be part of this event. It really is, as we talked about. It's not necessarily your best kid. It's the great contributors to the program, the school, your community, but you never know where it'll go. Great relationship with St. James here, and be interesting to see if there could be some matchups. Clearly, I had an opportunity to be down in Kellam this weekend. Did arrive a little early to catch the Independence and First Colonial game, and wow, just really impressive. Both teams are just amazing. They're both the athleticism and the skill set that they show out there, and it was a fantastic game. And up here in Northern Virginia, it was nice to see Independence break through. coming out of Loudoun County. Congratulations to them, a fantastic year. It's some really great players, and you see the talent that they have there. And I think, don't quote me on this, but a couple Division I commits. I think there's a Louisville, Syracuse, and maybe even Ohio State on that team. So that's really impressive, and they've really developed. So yeah, it's always interesting. Virginia Beach has always been the power. I think Northern Virginia has really improved. It would be fun to see some matchups if they can figure it out.
Would be cool. I know even in football this past year, you get on social media and see the fun banter conversations about freedom of the math. Well, they were playing and the game got halted and they tried to pick it back up, couldn't finish it. And people love that with obviously those teams from the DMV area, that can cross over, be it a public school or private school. It's always neat to have those dream matchups, let the fans kind of discuss and tell you why they think so-and-so is going to beat so-and-so. But we'll get you out on this, Brendan. We thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm sure it won't be the last time that we talk with you here. Give the audience out there how they can get tickets, the prices, the times, if they're curious about the rosters, how they can obtain those to see who's playing who in this matchup, and if they want to get involved with helping you out and coach with the cause, how they can do that.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, again for doing this. And it's great to be able to kind of talk about this and what we're trying to do with this event. So you're right, November 19th, we'll have a clinic from 3 to 4 over at the St. James. Then the play begins about 4:15. We'll have a chance to introduce all the players. Hopefully their parents and friends can come out. St. James is a great venue. I think we're looking forward to being in that space. You talked about our Twitter site. It's NoVA FHSR Salute. They can go out there. There's tons of information about that, including a flyer, QR code where we can get tickets to get to the event. As I mentioned, we're going to have about 56 girls out there. We're going to break them into 4 teams, get a little opportunity for the girls to play with kids probably they don't have too much of a chance to play with, maybe some club overlap, but going across districts, we're going across regions, bringing them together. And again, we have some great coaches that are helping us out, bringing that all together. So this Sunday, starting out at 3 o'clock with a clinic, 3 to 4, and then going into the games from about 4 to 8 o'clock that night. So 4 games for the girls. So thanks, Matt.
It's our pleasure. Fantastic stuff there for Brendan Sullivan, along with Christina Carroll, the head coach at George C. Marshall. They got the NoVA Field Hockey Seniors Salute. Again, NoVA FHSR Salute on X or Twitter, and the stjames.com for more. All the best with it, Brendan. We look forward to it, and we'll keep in touch.
Sounds great, Matt. Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a time out and come back with more here with Field Hockey with Hatfield from the Plex after we hear from some of our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.